So, this is, it's going to be a big one. We all know that as of recently, there's been a lot of issues with COD itself, but I've covered so many different issues with this game for the last 6 months. I'm just going to show you this. This is a new video by PrimePete. We're going to watch it together, and I'm pretty sure it's going to cover some of the stuff we've already covered in the past 6 months, but I'm just going to break it down, and I'm also going to get to why I'm going to break it down, and some new things that have just happened to appear with the new update, so let's get into it. Alright, let's see what this is about.
Give me less than 10 minutes and I'll prove to you that COD is pay to win. Just when you thought Activision couldn't get any worse, they couldn't stoop any lower, they managed to do it yet again. Activision has sent out surveys to some players regarding in-game monetization and skins, except...
Which, by the way, if you haven't seen this, I covered this a few videos ago. Basically saying my opinion on it and the fact that it's disgraceful. You know, they literally going out the way now admitting that they're doing pay to win. But
there is a particular question that completely lets the...
It's good that PrimePete actually is making a video on this as well, because I know a few other people have, so the more the better.
Cat out of the bag. Before clicking on the survey, it says here that your feedback will directly influence future content. Now, this survey is not proof the game is pay to win, but let me read it first, and then I'm going to tie it into the main point. And here's what it is. One of the questions asks, when equipping or buying skins for a console or PC shooter game, how important is it that a skin offers a tactical advantage during gameplay, e.g. camouflage, smaller hitbox, etc.? Alright, what if everyone that answered this survey answered that this would definitely encourage them to buy more skins? Would that directly influence future content and make the playing field unbalanced? It looks like
The thing is, I honestly don't think it matters. I genuinely think at this point, it's not going to make a difference, because they are still 1000% going to make sure that they are making it pay to win anyway. They already have, so why would they stop now? You know, I don't think it makes a difference if people vote yes or no personally, but
Call of Duty is actually willing to become pay to win. Well, actually, it's not that they're willing to become pay to win. It's because they already are pay to win.
Literally.
And now it's just them doubling down on this strategy and making it much more obvious. Feast your eyes on this. It's a patent filed and owned by Activision. If you've seen my content, you probably know what this thing is. It's called System and Method.
It's a patent that PrimePete's dove into before. I'm assuming he's going to explain it, so I won't do it myself. I'll let you guys watch this, but yeah, it's just funny that there's patents around this.
To drive microtransactions in multiplayer video games. It's also called a Microtransaction Engine. It's software used to encourage and drive purchases of skins within a game. The way it works is simple. You simply match marquee players, better players with the skin that they want to advertise, with junior players, worse players without those skins. And if the better players win the game with those skins, it'll make the worst player think that skins make you better, and therefore they'll be inclined to purchase skins.
Here to win!
It's basically like advertising the skin within the game by making it look like it makes you better. Another way it works, is referenced in the patent verbatim, is reading a player's interests and playstyle. For example, listed here, it's a sniper, and matching them against a better sniper who is also using a paid bundle sniper skin, and then making sure the beginner sniper loses to the sniper with the skin simply because they're worse.
Just listen to what he said in that last paragraph, like them last few lines. The game makes you lose because someone else has a different skin, making you hit. Like, this is what I'm saying here. It's in such a dire state, and this is why I do the videos, just like the other people that do it, like PrimePete, to make it publicly known how bad this thing is, because people still to this day don't realize how bad it is.
Worse. This is owned and created by Activision, and the best part is the word marquee, which describes the exemplary player that uses the skins they want to advertise, is used 22 times within the patent. This is a favorite word of Activision when it comes to advertising skins, unfairly by manipulating matchmaking and gameplay. And here we have an advertisement that says marquee bundles on it. That is a bunch of pictures of the newest bundles for Season 4 Reloaded of Modern Warfare 2.
Real quick, in the comments below, genuinely let me know if you like any of the bundles that they've put out. I personally, the only one I will ever buy, ever, over the last like 6 years, is the Optic Gamer one, because I'm an Optic fan, that's it. Every other pack is just ridiculous and overpriced and looks shit. They look shit.
And it also includes Black Cell, which is the most expensive cosmetic purchase. So it would make sense that people using these skins would get a boost to encourage people to make the expensive purchase. I've actually heard people coping with this by saying the word Marquee is normal to use and that it's completely reasonable for them to utilize this word within an advertisement. But I will argue the super obvious point so we can cut past the darn coping. First, they've never once used it in game, and they've never used it ever before or after this advertisement. It's only appeared once and never again. And what's further, Merc Music, a huge YouTuber, actually covered this same issue where the word Marquee was reused in the advertisement, which obviously meant that people were catching on and they couldn't afford to do it again. But this wasn't a...
I mean, that could be a valid point. You know, he's saying stuff like that, and quite frankly, Activision, I know, and we all know that how shady and sly they are, and if they thought they were going to be caught... Because I covered this in one of my other videos, right? They can get away with not admitting stuff. When we talk about, oh, has Black Ops 7 got jetpacks? Has Black Ops 7 got blah, 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 X, Y, Z? They'll come out and say no, because it's not lying if it's not there. But they can't come out and say that skill-based damage isn't a thing, or, you know, the EOMM, or this isn't a thing, because then it would be, because we all know it's real now, that it would be lying to the public, and that would cause lawsuits and stuff. They can't physically come out and say no. So... I mean, yeah, it could be
a human blunder. It was likely an
correct.
AI blunder because the advertisement is AI generated, like other advertisements we've seen over the years, and nobody checked on its work, which is also a common theme within Activision, not checking AI for obvious mistakes. And once players started to catch on, Activision quickly realized they literally couldn't address it or delete the post because it risks backlash and major suspicion, and instead they could just choose to never ever use that word ever again.
Ignore it like they ignore everything else.
22 times in an incredibly condemning patent describing software that rigs matches to sell skins, it is awfully stupid to use that same word in the advertisement, unless you're an AI that thinks that word is the most fitting because you understand Activision's business practices. Another more major point is this, their blog post, where they talk about how the game totally isn't rigged, even though they do nothing but talk in circles and cleverly avoid every single accusation.
Sounds
concludes with a
right.
Q&A section with commonly asked questions, except they're rephrased in ways where Activision can answer them without lying. For example,
exactly what I was telling you. They physically can't, because then it'll be classed as lying, which leads to lawsuits. They will find any way possible to go around the conversation. You know when you have that friend that you talk to about whether it be gaming, and them being like, oh, why are you so bad, or why are you something, and they'll do everything they can to avoid the actual question. That's literally, they're like a kid, bro. This is it. They won't answer the direct question, so they find ways to get asked the question in ways that they can answer it.
Does the matchmaking manipulate damage and hit reg, etc.? No, it doesn't. But obviously this is avoided because the matchmaking doesn't affect anything within the actual game. Matchmaking is the software and algorithm that makes the matches, that puts players together. Saying the matchmaking doesn't affect damage and hit reg is like saying the referee doesn't score goals. It's just obvious. He's part of the process of making sure the goal is counted, not that the goal is scored. If the referee gives the goal to the team because they put the ball in the net, he's just the arbiter of the rules, making sure the...
I like Pete's analogy, is that what you call it? The example he used with the referee, that's a perfect example and very well described. So yeah, I completely get where he's coming from, and I agree 100% that it's funny because it again goes back to that point we've just saying, that they're trying so hard to go around the point. And I mean, that's your bread and butter right there.
Smoothly. But I digress. This leads me to this. The fact that we found skill-based damage in the code of COD, which means that this question is now proven to be gaslighting and misleading language because damage manipulation exists, conveniently outside of the matchmaking, just like I said. And that means the validity of this blog post is basically nada, as we know it was meant to throw us off the scent.
It's
if
so
the question
harsh.
was, is there anything in the game that manipulates damage, they would have had to answer yes and explain that the bot damage was scaled. But instead, they just decided to say matchmaking, and that made it so they can just say no. Therefore, it was gaslighting and an omission of the truth. And the best part is, skill-based damage manipulation also exists as a patent as well, which means we know it's in full use because we've
covered this as well. The fact that anybody on this fucking planet thinks this shit isn't real, go watch Pete's videos, dude. Go watch Blame Truth. Go watch anyone like myself that cover all these videos, that throw all the proof in. They don't just say willy-nilly, right? there's enough proof there to get you to understand it's real.
Literally found code within the game and confirmed that this code is legit and functions as intended within Warzone. So that being said, now the question arises, what else are they hiding behind clever language? Well, for starters, let's consider that the word Marquee showed up on this advertisement, indicating that they are well aware of this software. Let's also forget that within the Q&A section, instead of the question being, does using certain skins affect your matchmaking, it's, does spending money affect your matchmaking? Which isn't what we're asking at all. Picture this. Someone has spent $1,000 on COD, but they're using everything default. No skins, no calling card, no weapon skins, no camos. Everything is default. They are in no way going to be used for advertising because there's nothing to advertise. Now, imagine that somebody has only spent $30.
But I just love Pete, how he gets in and just middles his way through like the fine details, man. It's funny because like he's completely right again. Like, from a glance, it looks like they're answering the question, but obviously, again, when he's breaking it down how he does, it really makes you understand the shadiness and practices that they do. I mean, come on, we're talking about Activision, that are like one of the worst companies on the planet for a lot of reasons, you know? So, it's just, I still find it funny and comical that this is a reality of the situation, and people are still, I mean, don't get me wrong, thankfully, a lot of people are now waking up and realizing what's going on, and it is real. But it's still got that fan base, dude, and people need to really just knuckle down and realize and understand what's going on.
COD, but they're using the latest Black Cell operator and weapon skins. They've spent way less money, but they're visually using skins that can be used as advertisements in game. So the amount of money spent doesn't matter. Rather, it's what they're using. And don't take my word for it, take Activision's. They literally say money spent doesn't affect matchmaking, completely dodging the real question, which is, does using certain skins match you differently? And in case you forgot, they literally admitted they track what skins you use for every match, which means skins are a measurable metric within the matchmaking. Why keep track of skin usage unless different skins are algorithmically matched differently based on who is the advertiser?
So to sum it up, right, as I've said before in the past, if Activision were to come out and simply say, no, this doesn't exist, that would be the be-all and end-all because they'd be sued. But just to clarify again, I'm just going to just highlight this one part, right? If they were to come out and say, yes, okay, we have this, not only would it cause problems sales-wise for them, but they would also cause probably, I don't know, maybe legal issues. I don't know if obviously they've figured out a way around that, but the fan base then obviously would understand that it's legit, but until that day that they physically admit it, which they won't, unfortunately, there's still going to be people that disagree with everything that me and Pete and everyone else have said. Unfortunately. Oh, I've muted it.
Advertised to. Finally, let's talk about this leak. These are in-game files that were data mined over 10 years ago. In an interview with Insider Gaming, the guy who designed the skill-based matchmaking system back in the day said he designed a 3-bucket system. This basically means there are 3 matchmaking brackets.
Yeah, and again, I've covered this, but just a real quick one. The fact that the guy that made skill-based matchmaking comes out and tells you this and explains that it is a thing and it has these bucket systems and stuff, like, if that doesn't show you how realistic this is, nothing ever will.
Skill, mid-skill, and high skill, but within the code, they're called buckets. This leaked image shows that there are different skill buckets, but look here, advert bucket, an advertising matchmaking bracket. Ah, the one that fits perfectly hand in hand with the patent and everything else that I've just said. Go figure! Definitely just a coincidence, right? Guys, it's right here.
I love how Pete just doesn't swear, doesn't say any bad words. It's just, you know, he's so calm and to the point then, go figure. Bro, I just don't have that kind of willpower, unfortunately.
The game is rigged based on skins you're being advertised to within the actual gameplay.
Yeah, you become the advertiser.
No match is legitimately real. So compiling all the evidence, the word Marquee repeats itself 22 times within a patent and then repeats itself in an advertisement. No coincidence. The blog post dodges the question with misleading and unspecific language. The blog post dodged another question and there actually turns out to be code and a patent for the same exact kind of software, just sitting there active, and a 3-bucket system was active, and then data miners found those 3 buckets, verifying what the creator of sbmm said, and then they also found an advertising bucket, and the matchmaking tracks what skins you use, not the amount of money you spend. Unless you lack brain cells, you should start to see where the evidence is pointing. And I haven't even touched the actual in-game experience.
You 100% added that emoji for people who have that brain rot mindset of like, I need something on the screen every 5 seconds. Guaranteed.
Purely the evidence outside of the game alone is enough to prove this
I'd love
point.
to collab with people.
So back to the whole survey thing. Them asking if you'd buy skins more often if they offered in-game advantages, it's not like they're finally becoming pay to win. This kind of thing isn't abnormal to ask because the game has been pay to win for quite a long time. We just never knew about it. The game is clearly rigged based on what skins you buy and equip, and the game reads your skill level and play style to best advertise to you, and it learns exactly how you become engaged, what engages you, and what the best way to make you spend money is. So asking about in-game advantages being provided when purchasing skins isn't some foreign thing. It's just the next step in rigging the game in favor of those who spend money. Black Ops 7 is going to be the worst Call of Duty ever made, mark my words. And that is saying something considering how terrible Black Ops 6 is.
Now, depends how you look at it. It's going to have all the issues, I've covered this as well, it's going to have all the issues that Black Ops 6 has. But the maps are probably going to be better, the guns are probably going to be better, and if the movement's a bit slower, I think the game itself might play better. But so the game will be technically better, but I get where he's going, and I do kind of agree with the amount of issues that this game has going forward. That's going to translate over.
If anything, it just proves this point even more. If they're willing to make skins provide real in-game benefits for purchasing them, it shows even more that they're just the kind of dishonest, shady, and sneaky company we thought they were before. And it definitely shows they care about integrity 0%. Get ready for outwardly pay-to-win skins. But honestly, the game has been pay-to-win for years. I'm PrimePete. Play actually good games, please, and take it easy.
Got the point. He has got a point. I mean, everything that Pete said there, it makes sense, and obviously he's covered it several times. I've covered it several times. So many people have proofs there, but it's like the people don't realize. People don't realize that Black Ops 7 is literally like it's going to be a DLC to Black Ops 6. The beat changes, yes, but it's mad to me. I'm dumbfounded how bad this game has become, like the franchise has become, whatever, and you know where it's gonna go. I don't know, man. I'm in like a disbelief of, not disbelief, because it's at a point now where I kind of believe it, but every day I see something, bang, 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 you know, Activision putting stuff out that's broken, and then Charlie Intel putting stuff out, and PrimePete putting stuff out. I don't even, like, I'm at a point where I've stopped caring as much, you know. I've really stopped caring as much as I used to, but it's like, I'm curious to see how low they're willing to go. Are they just going to come out and openly admit everything? No, hell no. But Black Ops 7 drops, and let's say the sales are the worst it's ever been. Are they then going to do something? Probably not. I don't think they give a fuck. I don't think they care. Everything these days is to do with money. Everything is to do with finding the best way to make money. So as long as they can still make millions and millions every year, guaranteed, like they already do every year, why would they change it? You know, I can't see a world where they would. So, as far as I'm concerned, COD's dead, long gone. And to be honest, the last 6 years hasn't been COD anyway. So, but I'm gonna wrap it up here. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of everything that's going on with COD. I mean, it's just dead, but you know, it's bad. But shout out to PrimePete. Link in the description if you want to go check him out. And yeah, dude, it's messed up. But don't forget to drop a like and sub if you new as always. It helps out a ton. And I'll catch you in the next one.